Shame that young man got injured because he's one of the better players. But we did a lot of good things offensively. The pace was terrific. Defensively, we have a long way to go. We did a good job on our presses. All total, they were 3 for 16. No, excuse me, 4 for 19. But the man defense has to get a lot better, and we'll gain a lot of experience from that. But offensively, we did a good job of sharing the basketball, moving the basketball. The pace was terrific. I thought Ryan McMahon came in and did a lot of good things defensively for the first time. We know he can shoot, and he gave us a big lift because he got 2 back tips. He played defense well. He obviously made the shots, and that's when it went from 20 to a blowout because of his efforts. So both Tony and Ryan did a very good job in the backcourt. In the fast break, we were 17 for 25. Those are good numbers.
Coach, is giving up dribble penetration, is that the biggest thing you're seeing with the defense?
Yeah, Quinn got beat a few times, but you know what happens when you're playing against guys a lot smaller? I don't think that'll be as prevalent when you play against a little more size. But it's tough to guard one-on-one.
What is the next step defensively that you want to see from these guys?
Ball containment. We made second and third rotations, but when you're jumping around as much as us, you have to make fourth and fifth rotations. And we didn't do that as well.
How happy were you with Mango?
He did a good job. Mango did a good job. See, you know, I didn't want to play him too many minutes. I thought that Honest did a good offensive job, but didn't defensively rebound. You know, he's, like I told him, I said, you know, it's not our fault that you didn't get up to 230 pounds. It's your fault. So the fact that you're thin, you got to be tougher. Because he didn't have did he have a defensive rebound? No. So that's just toughness. But offensively, he's a very good basketball player. And I think he'll be better against more size, believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy.
Coach, with the up-tempo style, it seemed like you guys made an effort to push the ball, make or miss. How much pressure does that put on the opposing defense when you're pushing even off makes?
Well, that's the way we're going to play this year, and it does. If your press is effective, your fast break will be effective, and, you know, the guys are in good shape, but, you know, we're not ready to open against Evansville, that's for sure. But there's a lot of positive things, so we've got to really knuckle down this week, get better. Bellman will be a good test for us because of the way they shoot the ball. And so we got to make major improvements, but obviously I'm very pleased because we've played very close games with Kentucky Wesleyan. And this wasn't.
You just said you think Honest will be better against bigger competition. What gives him that?
Just because he does better against taller people.
What do you think he does?
Just in practice, he has a tough time guarding smaller people.
Donovan Mitchell seemed to be in the passing lane a lot. How important is he in terms of igniting the style of play that you want?
Very. You know, he was 0 for 3 from the 3 tonight, but you could see just on that one ball fake, rip move, and he took a 16-foot pull-up. It was pure. You know, Donovan's the second best shooter on the team. He's worked real hard at that. So he's playing good basketball. I thought Dang played good basketball tonight. You know, we got 2 terrific power forwards. So, you know, it was a good night.
You shot 60%. I mean, the break helps that when you do as
Right.
well as you do on the break, but we haven't seen a lot of 60% around here. Is that, I mean, I guess that just goes to everybody.
Yeah, I think somewhat, you know, we outmatched the competition tonight. You know, when you play fast, they don't get into their sets, and we've allowed them to get in their sets in years past, and they didn't get into it. But Happy's a terrific coach. They're going to gain great experience from this, and it's going to help them immensely.
How much does it help your rebounding to have 2 guys like Mitchell and Adele that are so good on the boards? How much does that help your team?
It does, and Q's got to do a better job in that area. You know, he had 3 tonight. Donovan's going to do what Terry Rozier did. He's going to grab a lot. He's going to be a terrific rebounding guard. Now we got to get Quentin to get in there and just get those loose ball rebounds.
You make the decision to play more up-tempo. Does your tolerance for mistakes change?
You know, they're going to make I don't care about offensive mistakes. I really care about defensive mistakes. Offensive mistakes, when you play fast, the more you throw bounce passes, the more you stay away from what I call air passes where you go down the lane, you try and throw an air pass, and the defense gets a deflection. Lobs and bounce passes is something we work really, really hard, making the extra pass. They're doing a great job of playing fast. They're unselfish group. It's the half-court defense because we've relied on our matchup zone to stop people, and now it's mano a mano. You got to be able to guard playing this style.
What's the reserves in for quite a little bit there in the second half? I think from like the under.
I missed the first part. I'm sorry.
You left the reserves in for a huge chunk early in that second half. How important is it for them to get confidence and get used to playing out there?
Yeah, I wanted to see certain things. Tony he's just learning this. He's like an extremely bright, fresh fifth-year senior, but he's like a freshman from a learning curve because he didn't play any basketball last year, and this is a totally different style than what he had at Penn. So he's going to be very good. He's just got to get used to this style.
What's the best measure of the tempo that you'd like to see? Are you counting possessions? Are you counting shots?
How long it takes to get the ball from end to end, and that was brilliant tonight. Brilliant.
What's that goal there? How quickly?
We'd like to cross half court in 3 seconds, but I was more impressed with the fact that we recognized when two guys ran at him, we recognized it. Like Mats did a great job of flashing, looking opposite. The recognition was really, really good tonight, and that's good. If we can get our defense going here, I think we'll be really tough.
Did Mango play about how you expected tonight?
Yeah, he did. I thought, he played 13 minutes. We'll give him off tomorrow just to rest a little bit. But he's going to be ready. He'll be ready for Evansville. It surprised me that he's this ready because we were very cautious with him, and I'm very surprised that he's come along in the last 2 weeks as quick as he has. But we're going to treat him with kid gloves a little bit because we have Honest, we have Mats, and so we'll just take our time with him.
What's been your patience with the bigs in this adjustment to this new style?
Bigs have done a great job. It's tough. Last year and this year, it's tough to get upset at anything. They're such unbelievable kids. Every coach says that it's part of it, but I'm not sure that they only mean it 80 or 70% of the time. The last 2 years, this has been just such a joy. These guys, it's not normal. I mean, we're having an awesome recruiting class because of those guys in the locker room. They sell it. I mean, our coaches are doing a great job of recruiting sophomores and juniors and going out, beating the bushes. And, I've been out probably more than I've ever been out. But we don't have to sell them. Once they come here, these guys, the parents, every parent has said to me, boy, I'm so impressed with your guys. He said, do you tell them to do this? I said, we don't tell them anything. We just tell them that you're coming in. So they're very impressive young men. Their parents should be very proud of the job they've done with them.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
Thank you.